Christmas. Happy holidays. Yay! It's the most wonderful time of the year. And it's almost here tomorrow. Well, it's kind of here today already. Hello, Christopher. Francis. How are you? Hello to you. Wow, Chris Pyle, long time patron. Chris, I haven't forgotten about you. You're going to get some boxes out, get some things sent out to you. You're going to have a very powerful holiday. It's going to be awesome. T-Bird, Merry Christmas to you. Todd T, another longtime patron. Merry Christmas. Todd Jorgensen, I think you're a patron. I think so. Merry Christmas to you, Jim. Merry Christmas, Phil Garrison. Do you know of your favorite? The A12 has a home theater bypass through. I don't know. I've never had the A12 in. Merry Christmas, Mike. Daniel, Merry Christmas to you. Did you build the Legos yet? I don't think they've been delivered yet. I'll have to check the pile. No pun intended. SS3 SS Derek reporting from Johnson. Oh, STS okay. Submariner. All right. Reporting from Johnson City. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Derek. Whew. Lance Blackshaw. Merry Christmas. Trevor. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Vinod. All right. We got Blake. Merry Christmas. Chris P. Happy holidays. David Hires. Merry Christmas from Seattle. Very nice. It feels like Seattle here. It's raining. Hey, again, Martin from Sweden. Hey, Martin. How are you? Oh, my goodness. Y'all are so nice. 90 people. Hey, listen, 50% of all the super chats that come in today, I'm giving to Toys for Tots. We're all giving it collectively. Toys for Tots. So Derek's getting $250 Toys for Tots. Probably too late this year for the kids to get it, but I'll donate it today. Right after this, I'm going to donate it. So I'm sure they have costs to cover for this Christmas time. Romania, what up? Merry Christmas, Chakabaka. Tony Jenkins, what up, my brother? Another longtime patron. Tony was here from the beginning. Ooh, Gary's knocking out of the park. $20. Thank you. $10 for Toys for Tots. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, Tom. Happy New Year from Nashville. Very nice. Very nice. Steve, Merry Christmas to you. Guthrie, Oklahoma. Very nice. Getting a Rockville 10-inch subwoofer and amp combo for my Geo Metro for Christmas. I think it'll be fun. And your Geo Metro, it's gonna be you're big time in it in the Geo Metro. 10-inch sub from Rockville. Rob Hawk, $13.99 Canadian. Great ingenuity for the festered season. Thank you, Rob. Very nice. Is it worth upgrading my 85th Lintons to the Supers? Personally, I think it is, but you have to go into it knowing that it's basically a different speaker. So it's not going to be like, oh, this is an improvement upon the Linton. It's going to be like, okay, this is like if you didn't know that it was a Linton, you would think it's a completely different speaker. I personally like it because it's got a really nice top end. So what I felt was missing from the Linton was a little bit of air and a little bit of excitement on the top, and the Supers have that. So I prefer them, but just know that it's going to be a different sound. It's not no longer laid back at all. At all. All right, did I get all the Supers? I did. I'm going to check out Audio Vector QR3 Dyne Audio Emmet 50 on Friday. Which ones do you think will win? I have no idea. Unfortunately, I haven't heard either of those. I would love to, though. I've never heard any Dyne Audio. Never had any in. I don't have a contact. Merry Christmas from Victoria, BC. Thank you, Maddie. One of my friends is up in Victoria. Spending a few months up there. Daniel Loomis, $10. Thank you. $5 Toys for Tots. What would be the better amp pairing to the Linton 85th and the Super Linton between Outlaw monos and Emotiva monos. Both of those are going to do great. I thought they both sounded very similar. So I don't think there's going to be a marked difference from one to the other. So I think you're good to go on either of those choices. I think I still have the Outlaw mod. They're boxed up in the garage, ready to go back. I need to get those sent out. But yeah, I think they're both great for it. And it depends on which Emotiva monos you're looking at. Because if it's the XPAs or the DR1s, then it's going to be, that's a different story. But if it's the basics monos, then they're very similar. Holy Stromboli. Trevor, $100. That was my mind being blown, my Santa hat being blown right off. $50 to Toys for Tots. Thank you. Hard to believe. I've been here since you had 53 followers. You deserve all the accolades. Trevor, I can't thank you enough for being here from the beginning, man. Who would have thunk it that my idiocy people would watch it? Thank you so much, man. That is very generous of you. Very, very generous. Very generous. Merry Christmas. Ed G, my man. Let's get the wrench. He's a moderator. I hope y'all can hear me and they come in because I am on Wi-Fi because my dog, once again, has chewed through another Ethernet cable, which means I need to go get yet another Ethernet cable. Coat it in, I don't know, some type of hot sauce so he stops chewing through the cables. Look at that. Yo, Trevor, the man. Agreed. Man. Just wanted to thank you for your open and honest reviews. I've been getting a lot of flack in the comments. People don't think I'm honest. Greets and happy Christmas from the Netherlands. Greetings to you, Remy. Thank you so much. What up? Hey, Randy. Season's greetings. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas from sunny Tampa, Florida. Thanks, brother. This guy's my better looking twin. Sorry, I'm burping. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays from Cleveland. Running a Yamaha RXV 483 5.1 receiver in my family room. I have about 28-year-old RL Lab speakers in the front that I would like to replace. That sounds cool, man. I've never heard that receiver. Yamaha is a little bit, I wouldn't say thin, but it's a little bit like mid-rangey focused. I would get something that's got a little, depends on what your budget is, but the new ELAC Debut 3.0 probably be a great combo with that. And it's not super expensive. You could also look at any of the Emotiva stuff, which is awesome, but you'll probably have to play around with tone controls if you put Emotivas on the Yamaha, because the Yamaha is going to be a little bit intense in the mid-range. There you go. Look at that. Jinx. I was looking at the ELAC Debut 3s or a Kef speaker. I don't know if Kef's going to be the greatest combo with a Yamaha. So, I don't know. Depends on which Kef it is. If it's the Q150s, which are being sunsetted, maybe. But the Debut 3s, I think, are going to be a better match and sound a lot better, I think. John Shepler. Look at that. John sent me this wonderful Christmas present. These are coasters, which incidentally, I'm going to steal this idea and make cheap Audio Man ones somehow. Look at that. Got a red one. Got a green one. Got all sorts of different colors. Hi-Fi coasters. If I can get them back. My camera is being wonky, man. It has not been autofocusing as well as it used to do. Must have done something to it. Must have changed a setting. Can we get a review on the Sparkos Gemini headphone amp? I think I had that in and I sent it on to another reviewer. I'm not really like, I don't do a lot of headphone stuff anymore. And I don't really know how much I can offer because I'm really not a headphone guy when it comes to, I mean, I listen to them all the time. I like them. As far as headphone amps, like that's not my wheelhouse. I'm sure it's great. Sparkos is awesome. I don't think you can go wrong with Sparkos. And I think if it has a tube in it, I'm kind of off too. I don't really do tube stuff in headphone. Like if it's a component and it's got a tube in it, probably not doing it unless it's like a higher end integrated amp or something like that. But if it's just like a phono stage with a tube sticking out of it, or a EQ with a tube sticking out of it, or a headphone amp with a tube sticking out of it, I don't do those. But I'm sure it's awesome because Sparkos makes great stuff. All right, what do we got here? Gerbo Photius. PC to USB to SMSL equals strong signal. PC to USB to Toslink converter to SMSL equals very weak signal. Huh. Any idea why? Hoping to power SMSL via a 5-volt power supply. Thanks for any insight. Not very advanced at this stuff. Cheers. I got no idea. I would assume, though, if you're translating it in a Toslink converter, there's something being lost in translation. So, yeah, the Toslink converter is probably, I would imagine, where the issue is. And when you say weak, I mean that with a digital signal, I guess I'm a little bit confused on that. Like, weak how? Like, if you could, like, plop it back in the comments, hopefully I'll see it. Like, in what way is it weak? I guess. All right. Merry Christmas. Wharfdale 225 or Clip. Talk about different speakers, man. 225s. I didn't even know those were still around. That's going to be a warmer speaker. Klipsch is going to be very forward in the mid-range. Not as forward as the first gen, but still pretty forward. And a little bit honky. That's the one thing. It seemed nasally, the RP600M Mark II. If you are after an exciting sound and you don't mind a little bit of taking a bit of a hit when it comes to realistic tonality in the mid-range, then the RP600Ms. But if you want more realistic tone, maybe slightly less dynamic, than the Wharfdale 225. That's what I would suggest. The signal is way quieter. Seems so strange to me. That seems very strange to me too. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea how to even begin to answer that. Music Direct has 225s for 300. Very cool. When something isn't quite as forward, is it 3-word? I'll get my coat. No, please sit down. That's very good. Steve Rigdon, $9.99. Thank you. Have an awesome Christmas. Thank you. Oh, look at all that Mac stuff in the background. Thank you for $5 to Toys for Tots. Yummy, yummy. DIY corner. Look at that. What is he? What are you in the Masons? What is that one? The Illuminati. Merry Christmas from Portugal. It's almost dinner time. Yummy. Enjoy. I hope you're with some family or hanging out, having a good time. All the best for your channel for 2025. Thank you very much, DIY Corner, Eduardo. That was very kind of you. Very kind of you. Brian Romskas in the house. Another longtime patron. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. My thanks anyways. Time for a return label. Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, I don't know why digital would have a lower output signal. Unless there's some type of setting in your DAC. What do you guys want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? I just put new rubber surrounds on a pair of Paradigm. I know it's pronounced Paradigm, but I always like Paradigm because I pronounce it Paradigm because that's how I remember how to spell it correctly. A pair of Paradigm Titan V1 speakers. They sound great, but tweeters sound weak. May need new capacitors? I don't know. If the tweeters sound weak, when you look at a crossover, check and see if the tweeter leg has a resistor in front of the cap, if it's a second order. So it'll be resistor, cap, and then an inductor will go to ground. So check if there's a resistor in front of that, and then check what the value of the resistor is, and then you can just reduce that value a little bit and start there. And you can kind of play with that value until you get the level of top end that you want. If there's no resistor on the tweeter leg, then you're kind of hosed. It is what it is. And then you have to kind of redesign the entire crossover. But that would be the easiest and quickest way to bring in more top end to a speaker, is check the tweeter leg of your crossover, check to see what the resistor value is, reduce the resistor value. That's how a lot of these small speakers, like Mica RB42s, even a lot of the ELAC stuff, they squish the tweeter sensitivity by putting a resistor on there to get it in line with the woofer to make it sound balanced. So a lot of times you have some room to play with that if you want to bring up the top end. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like. Because fundamentally you're redesigning the crossover. But if you don't change it by a lot, then usually it will sound okay. You'll probably have a bit of take a penalty in the mid-range somewhere in there. But yeah, if you don't change it too much, it should be fine. Merry Christmas from Paris to you, Mr. Audio Man. I upgraded from Yamo S807 to PSB T20 thanks to you and other audiophiles. Very nice. PSB makes good speakers. Have you purchased any new gear this year? And if so, are you happy with it? I don't think I've purchased anything. Well, no, I take that back. I did purchase the, the Unico Primo integrated amp at a discount, but I purchased it. And I love it. It's expensive though. If there's a cap in front of the tweeter, that's a weird place to put the capacitor. Well, no, okay. So it will go. So a second order crossover will look like this. It'll go usually resistor and then cap, and then there'll be a inductor to ground, and then it'll go into the tweeter, because a capacitor is a first order crossover. When you add an inductor going to ground, then it's a second order crossover. A lot of times though, there's a resistor in front of the cap because it needs to bring down the efficiency of the tweeter to be more in line with the efficiency of the woofer. So yeah, just having a cap on it right in front of a tweeter is a first order crossover. Yeah. Bass blockers. That's what wears in our cars. Just a cap in line. Merry Christmas from SoCal. Merry Christmas to you, Salty Walt. Very kind of you. Des Moines. Andy, Merry Christmas Eve from Des Moines. Merry Christmas Eve to you. Can we get a review of the new cheapo Emotiva phono stage? Maybe. I'm sure it's great. People usually don't really want to watch my turntable stuff. But maybe I'll combine that into another review where we talk about it just briefly. But I don't think a whole video on the Emotiva phono stage would probably do very well on the channel. Help me understand why I should spend $3,600 on the streamer. I'm talking about the Eversolo 810. I don't think you should. Maybe if the majority of your music is coming through streaming and you really, really care and you have a really nice system, you got a ton of transparency and everything, maybe you could, and you don't mind the Android interface. It depends. It's your money and it's your investment into your system. So $3,600 on a streamer to me is a bit of an overkill. You're going to have a better clock in there versus something like the Weem Ultra. So it will probably sound better. It's going to have a much better DAC inside. But if you have an external DAC, then I would be more inclined, if you want to spend some money, to look at the CXN, I think it's 100 from Cambridge Audio, which comes in around $1,000, and sometimes it's on sale. Full-size components, got a decent DAC inside, balanced outputs, has a screen, uses Stream Magic, but if you're into Rune, it works perfectly with Rune. Doesn't do Amazon Music. So it also depends on what's your favorite streaming service. But you can also just look at the Weem Ultra, which is great. I run those all the time. Doesn't have as good of a clock as the Eversolo A10. You can also look at the DMP A6 or something like that, which is more affordable. But yeah, I don't think you should spend $3,600 on a streamer. But if you like it and you like the looks of it, it's probably going to be better than a lot of other streamers. Is it going to be 3.6 times better than the Cambridge Audio? Doubtful, to me. All right. Just got the Blue Sound Node icon. Very impressive. Nice build and sound. Yeah, Blue Sound does a good job with everything. What is your go-to test song? Oh, man, I have so many of them. So many. Shoot to Thrill, AC/DC, Intergalactic by the Beastie Boys. The whole Hello Nasty album I use quite a bit. Chocolate Chip Trip by Tool. Eulogy by Tool. Let's see. What else? Hello by Adele. There Will Be Time by Mumford & Sons. What else? That's just a few. I have a test track playlist. The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Yeah, stuff like that. Weem Pro and a Bad Boy DAC. Yeah, it's a great combo too. Yeah. The problem with the Weem Pros though is the clock, and so what you get with a better higher end DAC is a better clock. But you're not really going to be able to hear that unless you got like everything else dialed in on your system. But yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, I use the Ultra and an external DAC. That's what I use on everything. Everything. Actually, I just got a second one in right here because I use it so much. Happy Christmas, Cheap Body Man. US output better than streaming, but needs native file Bandcamp users with large purchases of libraries using Schkit Modi from Weem Ultra. Sounds dry good. Christopher, I love you. I appreciate you watching so much, but I have no idea what this means. I feel like this is a lot of words put together. Bandcamp Ultra, good. Test track, James Blake, Limit to Your Love. Oh, I also use Steve Winwood, Higher Love. It's great. Pretty in Pink soundtrack. If you leave, don't look back. Good way to test the speaker for bass. Oof. Oof. Is the Eversolo really about the preamp and or the DAC? I can't believe the streamer section is any better than the Weem. So again, we'll get back to the clocking section. The Eversolo is definitely going to have a better clock. Eversolo is probably also going to have a much better power supply. I think it may be a linear power supply. So you are getting that. But I think you get all that stuff with the DMP A6 too, which comes in around $700. So yeah, clocking and probably better power supply, a better DAC section. I don't necessarily think that all kind of like levels it up to that price, but those are probably the reasons why it's more expensive. But I don't like the Android interface. I can't stand it. I hate it. But that's just me. I'm not a real tech guy. Hold up. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Tony. Best test track for drums. Aphrodite? Child? Four Horsemen? Very good. Nina Simone, Sinnerman. Yep, that is on my test track playlist. I listened to that quite a bit, actually. It's such a long song, though, but it's very good. YouTube ads keep interrupting the live stream. Yeah, they play. I think I set them to play every 10, 12 minutes. So my apologies about that, but we got to keep the lights on over here at the Cheap Audio Man YouTube studios. So I appreciate your understanding when it comes to ads. Just got to do it. Got to do it. Is there any benefit of the Weem Ultra over the Weem Pro using a separate DAC? Well, yes. The Ultra has PhonoStage. It also has bass management. And that's really, and it has the screen. That's what I really love about it. Also has an internal power supply, which almost isn't a benefit, because with an external power supply, you could add a linear power supply to the Weem Pro. Weem Ultra, screen, really good bass management, and then PhonoStage. HDMI ARC, another big plus on the Weem Ultra. So, yeah, those are the benefits. If none of those mean anything to you, if you don't have a subwoofer, if you don't care about the screen, if you don't care about HDMI, then it's probably not a huge benefit. What up, FireTech? Merry Christmas to you. Randy Claus. That's me. T9 Pro. Woo! Haven't heard that for a while. Should I get it to replace an SMSL 8018 that tanked on me? I think so. I think there's some other good options out there to look at too, though. 8018, man, that was back in the beginning of the channel. Had an Infineon something 28 chip in it. Yeah, that was back when those things sound pretty harsh. There is the DL100, I think, from SMSL. It's pretty good. Actually, it's real good. I think they have the new Infineon Maris chips in them. Trying to think of what has the 3255, if there's any like integrated. What did I just do? I just did one. Oh, you can't get it. The Ayima A80. Really impressed with that. They're sold out everywhere, though. I made a video on it, and then like you couldn't get them anymore because I raved about it. A lot of fun. Hey, look at that. John Brender, $5. Yay, $2.50 at Toys for Tots. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Thank you for a great 2024. Holy cow. Sparkle Ponies Eclectica. $49.99. $25 Toys for Tots. Merry Christmas, and thank you for getting me into hi-fi. I need to join your Patreon. Come on, man. You're welcome. You're welcome to join. I'll have a good time. I need to start writing all these down because YouTube's not great about telling me how many super chats came in. All right, so we have 50. We have 5. We have 100. Because I want to do this right when I get done. Because I got stuff to do. It's Christmas Eve. Presents to wrap. $10. We have stockings to stuff. Food to make. All sorts of cool stuff. Another $10. $13.99 Canadian. So that's like 53 cents US. Just kidding. To my Canadian friends, I'm just kidding. $20. What else we got? $5. Sorry, bear with me. I know this is boring. I just want to make sure I get it right. Dun, dun, dun. All right. Done. Whew. Ha, ha, ha. Thank you so much, Sparkle Ponies. Very nice of you. Alibaba has the A80, I believe. I'm very hesitant to recommend buying anything from even AliExpress, even though I've had somewhat of an okay experience with AliExpress. It still worries me. because I don't want to recommend you go buy something and then you have an issue with something and then you can't get stuff returned. That's why I like Amazon. I know people think Amazon is whatever about Amazon, but that's why I like Amazon. I don't even like buying from these companies direct because you get it, something goes wrong, they say, okay, well, send it back to China. So if you buy a $150 or $200 product, $130 product, and then you have to send it back to China, going to be, I don't know, depends. It's going to be a lot of money. It's going to take forever. They're going to get it, and they're going to say there's nothing wrong with it. Oh, do you want us to send it back? Pay for shipping. So at that point, I mean, you got zero recourse. Is Gishelli J3 Pro, Gishelli 3 Pro, the way to go? I like it. Here's the thing though, if you can save a little bit of money, J3 and a J2 are very similar. And if you don't mind the push buttons, if you're navigating through the different inputs on your DAC a lot, which means you use USB and an optical and coax for a bunch of different stuff, I think the J3 is the way to go, simply because it's much easier to use because they just have push buttons. They used to have, and they still do on the J2, just 4 LEDs in a square. And so depending upon which one lit up, it depends upon which input you're using. And that was a little bit frustrating. But if you leave it just on one input, then it doesn't matter. You save a little bit of money that way. But yes, I have the J3 actually running in the living room right now. I believe it's the $44.99 version. I'll have to get with them though and check. But it's great. I love it. Absolutely love it. If you got the budget, Daisy is like spectacular. Steve Z, my man, longtime patron, one of the first, $9.99. AliExpress delivered something 2 states over, and I never received it. Out the do re mi. Yeah, it's stories like this. Always like hesitant. I get it. I'm probably like 98% of their deliveries probably go fine, but anecdotally, I've heard enough issues that I have a hard time recommending AliExpress or buying from these companies direct. Just anyway. What op amp for jazz and 80s rock? I don't really have a preference for different genres. I like the Sparkos op amps quite a bit. I think Burson makes really good ones, the Vivids. I didn't love their V5 eyes or something like that. They're a little bit too warm. But Sparkos and Burson, the Vivid, probably the way I would go. I don't know much about the Texas Instruments chips outside of like the 5532s, which are included in a lot of the stuff that's coming out now, which are great. So maybe the 16, I can't remember. Anyway, a lot of the stuff that's being shipped now already has great op amps, but I think the big step up is with the Sparkos. I don't have enough experience with the Bursons, but I do know people that have the Vivids and they love them. So yeah. My phone wrote weird stuff on YouTube. It's like it took over my keyboard. They're taking over, Steve. It's the AI revolution. So life may not look like it does today, next year. We could all be. That's why physical media is always. You never know. You never know what's going to happen when Skynet takes over. You don't know if Qobuz and Tidal's still going to be around. You might want to hold on to some CDs, maybe some vinyl records. Prepper. We need to all be hi-fi doomsday preppers and make sure we have physical media. Okay? Might never happen. But if the zombie apocalypse, if the AI zombie apocalypse happens, we want to make sure that we can listen to Metallica Ride the Lightning. The only way we might be able to do that is through a compact disc if the EMP doesn't take it out. Maybe a record or even a cassette. Put all your hi-fi in a Faraday cage too, so the EMP doesn't take out your hi-fi. That was a joke, by the way, to everybody. What's your favorite format? I like vinyl personally. I like CDs too, but if I have all the time in the world and I don't have anything due, I don't have a deadline, I'm listening to vinyl. Here we go. Cody Grayland, Denafreps 12th, worked okay. Sent it to Texas. Texas said it's fine. It's not. Done with Chi-Fi. Yeah. I've heard great experiences with Denafreps. I've heard people that have had problems, sent it to Texas. It's gotten fixed, usually with some USB stuff. But again, this is a perfect example of kind of like what happens if, because there's such a removal from like the people that own Denafreps or whatever to, for as far as customer service. I'm not saying they have bad customer service, but I'm just saying in a situation like that, what do? You call up Denafreps, hey, it's still not right. And then they say, well, you sent it in. They said it's fine. So, but you call up Cambridge, call up Emotiva, call up Schkit. Chances are you're going to talk to somebody that says, hey, have you done X, Y, and Z? Anyway, I still have burned LimeWire CDs. Very nice. Recommendations for budget DAC/amp for headphones. Yeah, there's a SMSL. I think it's AL100. I think it's about $100 something. Great headphone amp. Uses a Cirrus Logic chip, which doubles as not only the DAC but also the headphone amp. It's great. Loved it. Super cheap. Super good. Has some baked-in EQs that you can use in there too. It's really good. Even for just a preamp, it's pretty good. Mark Franceschina, $20. Thank you so much, Mark. It's like $10 for Toys for Tots. Ramon Delgado, my man from Chicago. Merry Christmas, $20. Thank you so much. Oh, I forgot to write these down. We got two 20s. 20. We're getting some bucks in here. Merry Christmas, Randy. Thank you for everything. Thank you for everything. You've never led me wrong. Yeah. Give me enough time. I'll get you the wrong place sooner or later. Looking forward to your future content. The Ultra with the FIO K11. I need to get that in. FIO. I don't really have a contact over there. I'm just going to buy one. K11 R2R. All right. We got 55, 155, 165, 175, 195, 200, 220, 240. So it's $120 going to Toys for Tots. Very nice. Hey, Cam, I had a spare Wing Pro, so I put it in between my preamp and subs. Now I have sub EQ balanced volume control. How brilliant. Very nice. Very smart. So are you just running them or you just have them connected, hooked up, and running together? That's really smart, man. Very smart thing to do. Put it in between my preamp and subs. Now I have sub EQ. Smart. Cody Grayland. $20. Thank you. Cody Grayland, thank you so much. Very nice. Denafreps delay issue on the Aries 11 12th is the reason why I'm getting rid of mine. Ended up getting a topping D93. Yeah, there was quite a bit of latency. That's what they call that. Latency. Not really an issue if you're listening to music, but if you're watching TV, big issue. Appreciate your lighthearted yet insightful reviews over the years. Well, thank you, Jacob B. I appreciate. Come on, Randy. There we go. Appreciate you watching. Yummy. Got Dayton Audio's classic B65 speakers for $70. Really good for the price. Very nice. I like Dayton. I know a couple of the guys, or I've talked to a couple of guys. I don't really know them really well. Clint Black's de-electrified CD makes a great audiophile test CD. Very nice, T-Bird. Long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. AC/DC is my decades-long go-to test track. There's a video of them playing that like early on in their career. And they're playing it, I guess, in Australia. and there's just people like standing around there, and it was the weirdest thing. It like almost felt like uncomfortable because nobody is like bobbing their head or anything. It's just a bunch of dudes just standing there. So maybe that's what they did in Australia back in the day. Christopher Francis, another $10. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you and all the Cam family, Discord, Facebook, and YouTube groups. Thank you, Christopher. Very nice. Whew, they're rolling in. Will Burdick, $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. CDs are great, but they don't last forever. I have over 2,000 and growing. Yeah, I mean, I get it. CDs don't last forever. Vinyl records don't last forever either, but they'll probably last me longer than I'll be around because I've got some that are just I did not treat well. They still play okay. The cool thing about CDs too is you can get them, pop them into Exact Audio Copy, which is a freeware, and then you can rip them. And then if there's errors, if there's not too many errors, it'll go out and find the fixes. And then so your digital copy on a hard drive is actually going to have less errors than the CD has, which is pretty cool. So I'll do that a lot. I'll buy CDs, rip them, and then I'll hook all that into Rune a lot of times, and then I'll do it that way. Any wall treatments you recommend for attached neighbors? No, man. I don't know anything about like room treatment. You go over to New Record Day. Ron, he does a lot with room treatment. But I think there's some DIY recipes out there for like, you can build like a little frame and then put some stuff in it, like some Corning's insulation or something like that, and then cover it with like a towel or some type of, you can kind of build your own on the cheap if you want. But I'm not the guy to talk to about that. Hey, buddy, $10. Thanks for everything. Thank you for everything. Appreciate all of the content. Hope to see you again at Florida show. I don't think I'm going to make it to Florida because I've got some international travel next year, and the Florida show kind of falls right between some trips. And Mrs. Cheap Audio Man probably won't like that. Charles Drake, $10. Thank you so much. Very nice. Very nice. Hey, Scott Baylor. Merry Christmas, Randy. I hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday. God bless you and yours. Right back at you, Scott. Hey, is your channel specializing for speakers or headphone audio? Mostly speakers and 2-channel. Occasionally I used to do a little bit of headphones, but not really anymore. Although I do have a pair of Mezes in here that I'll probably do a video on. I lived in Brisbane, Australia when AC/DC started charting hits. We didn't know what to think. Very counterculture. Oh, very cool. Inspecting gadgets. See what you did there with the title. Very good. What up, Shanti? Any idea how long Amazon returns policy is? I've decided I don't like a cheap center channel speaker I bought a couple months ago. I have no idea. It should go, if you go into orders. So go into orders, find that one, and it should tell you how long you have to return it. Sometimes if you buy things during the holidays, they give you 60 days versus 30. But yeah. Robert Pop, $20. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Go Big Red. Yeah, I think we're playing Boston College. Dolly Oberon 5s or Q Acoustics 5040. Both can one. Q Acoustics. Yep. Q Acoustics. Something special about that speaker. Really special. Now, I'm going to be 100% transparent. I've never heard the Dolly Oberon 5s, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. But I have heard the Q Acoustics 5040, and at their price, they are as good as it gets. I really like them. Tonally, it's just they've got a great timbre, I guess you would call it. It's very, 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 very natural. Barry, my man. Merry Christmas. Have a great holiday. Thanks for all the fun this year. Thank you, Barry. $5 at Toys for Tots. They are rolling in. Ben Chesser, $20. You're so nice. Yes, preamp to Weem via line in. Then line out to 2 subs. And the cool thing about it, I think you can run like mono outs too. So you can put it in mono. This is brilliant. A 12-volt trigger goes to my power amp. Works great. Thanks for a great year of videos. I just dropped my pen. This is a great idea. I think I'm going to do a video about this. Really great idea. Let's do using Weem as a sub, I don't know, EQ. All right. Thank you, Ben. Thank you for the super chat too. Whew. All right, we got Leslie Hodlin, $20. Thank you so much. Y'all are being very generous. Two Madmen in Madame 2, $10. Really appreciate your review of the Emotiva mono blocks versus Schit Tier. I know the Tier were not cheap, but wow, seriously, wow. Merry Christmas and thanks. Those things are so heavy. I actually have the Wotan or Wotan in right now. Kind of reminds me of like a mini Tier. That thing is beefy. I just put it in the living room. The heat sinks on the side, intense. All right. Eric Hubs, $2. Thank you so much. Look at that dog sleeping. Very nice. What else do you want to talk about? Yeah, please click the like button. Thank you, Mixtures B. RSL IA 255.1 integrated amp for 110. Very underrated for the price. Completely agree. There's very few of these little Class D amps that I hold on to. I have that right behind me. It's got a high pass filter. It's fixed, but you still have one. I think it's set at 90 hertz. High pass filter, tone controls, Bluetooth, if you're into that type of a thing. 50 watts. I think it uses an Infineon chip. I think it might be the Maris chip. I think it makes 50 watts and 8 ohms. Very good integrated amplifier. US company. You have US support too. Great little product. I should talk about it more. It's a fantastic product. I really like the high pass option too, and sub out. It's a sub out too. I think it has a sub out. Very good product. Hold on, I'll tell you if it has a sub out. That's how much I like it. I knew exactly where it's at. Oh, it's got a USB input too. Forgot about that. Look at this. All right. So you got you have line in, Bluetooth, and then USB, toggle power over here, bass, treble, volume, all metal too, by the way. And then right here on the back, you have high pass filter, toggle on, toggle off. You have a sub preamp out via 3.5. Yeah, very good. And a USB input. Very good product. Great product. Hey, Randy, I'm going to pull the trigger on the Emotiva XDA3 DAC. I'm using Weem amp to power it. Okay. Will this be sufficient in your opinion, or should I also get the dual ZA3s? Weem amp to power it. Yeah, should be enough. Hopefully you already own it, but what I would do is I'd save up a little bit. So use whatever you have on hand and then save up and maybe get like a 2-channel amp from Emotiva or Outlaw, or even Monoprice has a great 2-channel amp, and usually it's on sale for $299, and it's incredible. Puts out really good power. So there's a Monoprice Monolith Class AB amplifier, toroidal transformer, $299. At one point in November, it was $201, and I saw that. I put out a video that day. They changed the price back up to $299. So yeah, very nice. Mixer Speed getting ready to jump into Dirac. Very nice. Just bought the Sony SSCS5 and some stands based on your review. Thanks. Love these inexpensive speakers. They're a lot of fun. They're not perfect in the mid-range, but they're still a lot of fun. I think they sound great. I have like 6 pairs of them all over the place. All over the place. Are there any new built-it-yourself speakers of note introduced in 2024? I don't know. You know, the 2 outfits that I know the most about is like CSS Audio. They're usually coming out with new stuff. You have to check out what they put out. And then GR Research. I don't know if they put out anything new in 2024. And then, yeah, that's it. You could look at Neil Blanchard Designs. He's a patron, and he makes really cool speaker kits. But he doesn't sell you the parts. He just designs the crossover and then gives you the plans, and you can go source the parts from wherever. And then, yeah, it's cool. It's a cool deal. And he's got a lot to choose from. Yancey. Skaboo. $5. Merry Christmas. Dax for Tots. I love that. They'd be all like, what is this? You know, like hi-fi for Tots. You know, we give them a bunch of like hi-fi stuff, turntable. Like, what are we going to do with this? $5. Thank you so much. Thanks for the Black Friday videos. You're welcome. Those are fun to make. I went ahead and bought the Ween Pro. Love it. Should have done it a long time ago. Merry Christmas, the audiophile stooge. Very nice. RT85 or 85N? Well, so I like the I like the N too, but I like the RT85. I'll tell you the reason why. So the RT85N has a Nagaoka MP110, which not stylus. That cartridge comes in around $110 or $120, right? Okay. So both those turntables, if they're still the same price they were, are $500, $499, right? The Ortofon 2M Blue is like a $200 or $210 cartridge, all right? So there's a $100 price differential between those two carts, but yet the turntable is the same price. So personally for me, and the Ortofon 2M Blue is one of my favorite cartridges of all time. I love it. The 85N or the Nagaoka MP110 is much more relaxed, much more laid back on top. If it were me personally, I would buy the regular RT85, have the 2M Blue on hand, and then buy the MP110 later. And then get a new head shell and then mount it, and then you can switch it back and forth. But you're kind of taking a $100 hit if you buy the 85N because it's a cheaper cartridge than the 2M Blue. If you don't care, then get the N, but the N to me is not as revealing as the 2M Blue. So that's my line of thinking about it. But if you're not going to change out cartridges, it doesn't really matter. MP110 is a nice cartridge, but it wouldn't be my favorite. The MP110 from Nagaoka would be a cartridge that I would use occasionally. If I could only have one cartridge for the rest of my life, it would be the 2M Blue, though. I don't like the red, I like the blue. So I hope that answers your question. Todd Farley, look at that rush. Is that it? $10. Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays to you, Todd. Thank you so much for your super chat. Would you consider the SU1 as a better DAC than the internal in the Ultra? If so, optical or coax to connect them? Thanks. They're the same chipset. I would say that you're probably going to get marginally better performance out of the SU1. No, they're not the same. The SU1 is the 4493. I think what's inside the Ultra is a Sabre. So they're not the same. I would not worry about it. I would save up some money and step into something that's better than the SU1, like a Shelly Labs J3 or J2, where there's some other DACs out there. I'm kind of out of the loop on like the SMSL stuff. Or what was the really good one? Little Duke Audio was really good. I don't have it. It's the Duke Audio Q11. That was a lot of fun too. So I wouldn't like get the SU1 probably going to sound a little bit better, but also to really get the SU1 to sing, you need like an external power supply because it's a 5-volt powered, which is cool because you can put it like a linear power supply on it, or you can even run it off of a battery bank, which would be pretty cool. But I think you're going to be getting marginal improvements, if not like kind of just a lateral change, not even really an improvement per se. I like optical. Some people think that coax sounds better, but we're splitting tiny hairs. So I would just stick with what you have and then save up $200-$300 and then look around and see what you can find. But thank you so much, Todd. All right. Mark Higley. Look at that. $10. Thanks for what you do. Love being able to experiment on a modest budget. Thank you, Mark, so much. $5. Toys for Tots. Mamo Slappy. $10. Thanks. Merry Christmas. Thank you. We're ranking it up. All right. I think I'm going to call it because I got to go to the bathroom and I got stuff to do today. But thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday. A happy Hanukkah to all my Jewish friends starting tomorrow night. Merry Christmas to all my other friends. Happy holidays if you're not into either one of them. But have a good time. If you're not around family today, listen to some great music. Kind of reflect on just how awesome it is to be alive. How awesome it is to have all this access to all the music that we want through super cheap streaming. Just be kind to people, man. Almost to the end of the year. It's great. New beginning. So, watch a movie. Watch A Christmas Vacation. Oh, check that. Some of you may want to take part in what I call my personal little Christmas tradition. Every Christmas Eve, I watch Die Hard while I'm wrapping presents. When everybody else has gone to sleep, I get some eggnog, get some Oreo cookies, and I turn on Die Hard and I wrap presents. Just for me. Little me time on Christmas Eve. Thank you so much for all your super chats. I'm going to make a donation to Toys for Tots right now. Be well. I love you all. And have a great holiday. Make sure you're subscribed. A lot of fun videos coming out before the end of the year. Bye. 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 Bye.